Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Jesse with Green Eyed Ambition. Here we talk about all things that deal with systems and operations for service-based businesses. And I also started to share my journey about me transitioning to live outside of America. Over the last few weeks, I've been getting messages and DMs asking about what's going on with me moving. Am I still moving? So I thought, why not do this video to one, share the beginning, because often I find that we just get notices like, hey, I have this video, I'm no longer in America type of content. However, I want to take you through the process as I'm learning so that I can help others that are possibly inspired to live outside of America. So one of the things I wanted to first share in this video is that as I've been having conversations with people, one of the things I always tell individuals when you're looking to move outside of America or the country, you want to not go to a space already comparing. You want to be able to be open to how there might be differences between the different countries. So as I am preparing myself for some of those differences, it's helping me with having clarity about where I'm going, as well as some of the changes I'm going to have to go through. So one of the biggest things I'm having to plan right now before I move is that I need to have surgery. I have fibroids, very common for women of color. I've been going through this journey now for about 10 years, and now I'm in a position where I want to actually get the fibroids removed so that I can potentially starting a family next year. So with that being said, I have been looking for specialists in both America as well as in South Africa that are specialized in myomectomies. So when people ask me, hey Jesse, what's going on with your move? I am moving. My lease will not be renewing. However, one of the biggest roadblocks right now for me as to giving a time or when I'm leaving type of deadline is the fact that I have this lingering surgery. Right now, I have appointments with some specialists here in America. One of the specialists, though, is booked out months in advance just to have a consultation, as well as booked months out in advance for surgery. This is one of the things that is, to me, one of the biggest downfalls to America. Yes, it's great that we have certain resources. However, if you never really need to have a surgery or a process done, if you ever move outside of your state, you find out there are definitely some roadblocks when it comes to insurance. And then when you're self-employed, is a whole nother level of roadblocks that you have to encounter. Right now, I am weighing the difference of, is it better for me just to find someone to specialize in myomectomies and fibroids in South Africa, either in Namibia, where I will be moving to, or in Johannesburg. If it's better for me just to find someone there, because I'm gonna have to pay out of pocket. My deductible here in America is like $8,000. I could get the whole surgery done, get Airbnb to live in for a month, and have a nurse and all that for the price I'll be paying out of my deductible here in America. So I'm really weighing out the fact of, yes, I may be able to get some dollars savings. However, I need to make sure whomever is going to be providing this surgery for me is going to be really comfortable and confident with doing a successful surgery and preserving my fertility at the same time. So I know that there are doctors, and if you're one of those individuals that are like, oh, only American doctors are the best. No, there actually are a good amount of doctors that study in America, then they go back to their country, and they also do updates and certifications in America, and then they go back to the country in which they live. So if you're someone that thinks that anywhere that's not America, you're getting third world service, talk to anyone that's not from here and ask them what their experience has been. I was talking to a cousin recently whose daughter had a medical emergency outside the country, and she paid under $100 because in other countries, when you have to go to urgent care or something of that nature, they don't try to slap you with $10,000 in medical bills like they do here in America. They believe that people should have the right to having access to health care, especially in those types of situations. I'm personally looking forward to having more options outside of America when it comes to medical insurance and care and things of that nature. Even if I have to pay for certain things out of pocket, that's totally fine. It's still not having this wish-washiness of what's happening in our system. Like, I've gone to multiple appointments thus far, no surgery scheduled, and I'm already $2,000 in the hole from just appointments, even with healthcare. And I have a Blue Cross Blue Shield insurance. So it's not bootleg, it's a big brand. It's just that that's how it works. So when you are thinking about moving out of the country, you want to be present to the fact, what are some things that you may want to take advantage of here before you make that move? And that's where I'm at right now. The second thing that I want to talk about is housing. I had an opportunity to see some really cool places when I did go overseas back in March. I am not concerned about housing. However, I did want to have a game plan so that when I do leave, that I have a smooth transition. My lease ends here in the fall. So what I'm planning on doing is to stay several months in an Airbnb before I start looking into permanent housing. You can find some really great options when it comes to the housing market, and majority of the places that you will ever go, please do not fall for the hype that nowhere outside of America has nice homes and you won't have certain luxuries. You can still have a comparable lifestyle to what you'll have here overseas, depending on where you live. So as I've been looking for apartments or houses, because when you're going to be floored by the cost of housing. So I was looking at how apartments, like 2 bedrooms, usually those are townhouses. For where I'm moving, I can find a really nice townhouse for $1,000. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment right now, and I pay almost double when you put all the utilities together. So when you look at where you're wanting to move, be present to, there might be some things you're going to have to adjust on. You can still get some pretty common things that we have here in America. It just might be that you're gonna have to pay a little bit more. However, it still will be relatively less expensive than what it is here. So if you're going there and you're wanting to have this over-the-top lifestyle, you can have a pretty bare minimum quality of life with a normal cost of living here. So again, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, when I decided that I wanted to make the decision on leaving, I was in this place of, what do I really want my next 8 years of my life to look like? What quality of life do I want to have? What do I want my finances to look like? Because, in the last month, I've had to come up with a lot of unexpected expenses. So it does put you in this place, or it puts me in this position where I constantly feel like it's hard to get ahead here in America. So that's why I'm in a position now that I just want to create a structure in my business so that I can live overseas and not have things just constantly just digging me in a hole while living here, even with making decent money. Because it is what it is. Like I said, my deductible with this insurance is going to be another $8,000 is coming out of my pocket. How do we do this? With health insurance, costs what they are, student loans, housing, all of these things are just like extremely expensive here. And I just don't want to play that game anymore. The third thing that I'm taking into consideration with moving overseas is, how do I want my business structure to be set up? I think that this is important. And I've watched a good amount of videos from different YouTubers that have really inspired me by the content that they've been sharing. It's amazing how much information is out there about people that are leaving America to have a different quality of life than what we have here. Yes, there are definitely some pros to being here. However, it comes down to where you are in your life. What do you value? What do you not value? And I'm just in a space where I don't want to always grind and hustle. I want to flow. I want to be able to have a lifestyle that doesn't always feel stressful and on the edge or feeling like I gotta always sell a whole bunch of something or get a bunch of clients. And I just don't want to have that. I want to allow my life to just flow. And that's what even led me to being in this place. I felt this way for the last year and a half. So when I did eventually leave outside of America, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I feel relaxed. I could really enjoy this. And I'm just really grateful for having this flexibility. So now that I know that I'm going to be doing my business overseas, I've taken the time to start looking at how do I go about doing that? When I want to hire people, what's the steps? What are the processes? If you may be someone that's not looking to have your own business and you want to work in the country that you're going to be in, you can always apply for work visas, different travel visas. You can find options, but you want to do that before you head over there. Again, depending on the country that you're going to be at. But you have to take in consideration that what someone may make as a really amazing income in the country in which you're going to may not be comparable for your US bills, because US bills are really billing right now. So you just don't want it to be that you get a job that pays really amazing in the currency in which you're going to be at. However, your American bills are double that in monthly salary. So you want to make sure you take that in consideration when it comes to financial planning. You want to understand, like, what will my budget be like? Set a budget. Like, that's something that I've been really practicing on. How do I reduce some of my expenses before I even go over there? Having an idea of what would be comfortable for me for the kind of lifestyle that I want to have over there without sacrificing some of the things that I want to have access to there. So again, I will continue to bring you along this process. The main things I'm having to consider is, one, the surgery. So that's holding me up a little bit. I have my appointment on July the 27th, or July 25th with the one specialist. However, I will continue to actively look for doctors that are in Johannesburg as well as Windhoek that will be qualified to do the service that I need to have done. I will continue to look for housing, but until I know what's happening with this surgery, I won't be able to find housing yet. My lease ends in the fall. I am not renewing it. So if that means that I have my surgery scheduled for later in the year, chances are I will just go overseas for a couple of months, then come back, because why am I going to pay $1,800 for rent when I can easily go over there and still save money, stay in a really nice Airbnb for 2 months, and then come back here and prep for the surgery. So I just have to really weigh certain things out. So if you've been wondering, Jesse, are you going to leave? Yes, I am still leaving 100%. I will not pause. The only pause I have right now is what's going on with this surgery. And I'm planning, my goal, my intention is to have more clarity on that within the next 2 weeks, or definitely by my appointment on July 25th, so that I can have a strategy going into August, so that I already, actually this month I have to give the notice to my apartment that I will not be renewing. So it's getting real. This whole journey is getting real. And I'd like to know, like, have you ever thought about moving outside of the United States? If you're someone that's in America right now, what are some of your concerns about leaving? Because I know everyone's situations are a little bit different. I've had some friends that have children. They're like, how would I do this? But I want to share that on this channel without mixing up the messaging, because this is really what it's like to be an entrepreneur that's looking to grow and expand, but also create the life that you love without sacrificing your peace of mind and your happiness. So this is my first update video, and I look forward to continuing to share the journey with you.